Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Surviving Mars, Below and Beyond, playing at maximum difficulty. We are in the middle of a rather nasty wildfire infection back on Earth, but we've almost contained it. I just need a little bit more potatoes. My primary concern right now, though, is that I am very close to being out of food, which means soon we're going to have some starvation issues. A bit more is on the way, and I'm trying really hard to get more food so we can survive while I get the last little bit of potatoes necessary. This last crop ought to do it. At least I hope it does. In the meantime, though, I think now is a good time to start considering going into the underground and looking for fun things to exploit and explore. Because we have our extra RCs, including an extra commander, plus an RC dozer and a transport and an explorer, so we can do pretty much everything down there. The only thing we're still missing is at least a little bit of some research. For example, we're going to want to be able to clear out any of the debris and stuff. Actually, did we already get that? We might have already gotten that. I got the low-G strut somewhere. We'll look for it later. But the point is, there's a lot we need to be able to do down here. Deep deposits on asteroids, that could be fun. And also, yeah, it would be cool to go into space. It would be very cool to go into space. We're not ready for that now, though. Let's survive the rest of this mystery event, and once done, we'll go ahead and go into the underground, go into space, and also start truly terraforming this planet in earnest. One thing I do need to research early on, though, which we've ignored up to this point, is the Stirling generator. Because remember, in the underground, there is no sun, nor any wind. So the only way you get any power down there is through Stirling generators and or fusion reactors. Stirling are the easiest way to get things set up, so that's what I am going for. Yeah, we have 158 starving colonists. 150 freaking 8. This is going to be a problem. We may need to go to some faster growing food just to keep us alive for a little bit longer. I guess we could go for quinoa. Grows fast, not a great yield, but at this point speed is kind of on our side here, so I say yeah, let's go ahead and swap over to quinoa temporarily while this farm tries to get some of the bigger crops up and running again. Yeah, I gotta survive for like one more soul. 200 food distributed will solve the problem at least for a little while. We've got like a soul or two before people start dying of starvation. But we are gonna start having some serious sanity issues pretty soon. So yeah, this isn't exactly the best situation for me to be in. This darn wildfire, I didn't manage my food correctly. I tried to save Earth too pragmatically, too selflessly. And now my people are going to pay the price. Let's go ahead and build up that elevator, by the way. The Doinkus. Let's also set up some quick Stirling generators, since I have those built up. I don't remember how much power you actually take, now that I think about it. You take 10 power, and a Stirling generator, I think, produces 10 without opening it, right? Yes? Question mark? Let's find out. It may actually be 5 if it's not opened. We'll find out in just a moment. Regardless, whatever. We'll get this elevator up and running. Let's go ahead and start moving an extra... Let's see, the RC transport needs to go deliver materials. We'll unload all resources over here somewhere. Sure, that'll be fine. This RC commander can go ahead and move down. Over here, we can send an RC explorer, and we can send another extra transport. Oh, look at all the starving people. Good news, I've got a lot of food now, so everyone go and work at the diners and stuff. Oh good, meteor storms, that'll be fine. Yeah, the problem is, diners and such can only handle so many visitors at a time. So we're going to run into an issue where people literally, the food exists, but they can't get the food because no one's literally available to serve them. I could see that becoming a thing soon, hopefully not for much longer though. The starving colonists are starting to go down and I'm not seeing a whole load of deaths, so I'm gonna say that we have narrowly averted disaster. Very narrowly indeed. 10 power. Oh. Well, there you go. Never mind. We are completely fine with our elevator. Huzzah! We can do life support? Wait, did they add this in? I don't feel like we used to be able to do life support from the elevator. That's kind of cool. All right, we have some dozers going down. Let's take a look at the underground. What do we find? Whoa, it's all dark. Hang on. There we go. Okay, well, apparently we are set right up on some underground metals and a research site. That's unexpected and kind of nice. RC Explorer should be able to go ahead and automatically snag this. I think this is mostly just going to introduce me to the heck that is the underground. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up a basic drone hub. It doesn't really require any power, I believe. We do, however, need some resources, namely a bit of metals and some electronics. Can we say, from the surface, send over a few more electronics plus a handful of metals like so? Apply. And then back up on the surface, the shuttles will probably start bringing all the stuff that I'm asking for, and we should get some materials delivered over here. That said, for some reason, they are not delivering. Switch to manual. Maybe that's the issue. Wait, hang on. Is this... Okay, hang on. Maybe I've got this backwards. I think they're requesting some electronics. There we go. Yeah. This should be right. Let's go ahead and request a handful of resources get delivered. We, of course, will need some Stirling generators. This gets a lot easier once you're able to do your own prefabs. But yeah, let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, I was just messing it up. Okay, we've already analyzed our first anomaly down here. It says, basically, we just got a whole bunch of free resources. Well, thank you. A bunch of free rare metals, machine parts, and metals. How they got in the underground, don't know, but they did. All right, time to venture forth. Now remember that Mars quakes are extra dangerous on this map, which is basically to say it's no different from the last series that we played in the underground. Found some metals, that'll be nice. We will at some point want to have some nice support struts protecting a few areas, but it's gonna be a little while before I can make use of any of those. Good news! The last of the Curtados are ready. We are going to slow those up into the rocket and send them off. Advanced landing techniques. That will be nice. What else do we want? Ooh, yes, the prefab tech. That's pretty nice to have. Deep space scanning will be nice at some point. Deep deposits, no. We're not going to have anyone live underground, probably for this entire series, fun though that may be. I think we'll finish up some of these. Let's start by getting the underground flight school, though. Because being able to use shuttles underground just means I don't need to have crazy supply logistics. I'll be able to just have things dropped off as long as I can supply some fuel, which shouldn't be much of an issue. The other things I'd like to go ahead and research instead would include things like some interplanetary projects, and actually the carbonate processor needs to be a high priority as well. Because I want to start terraforming this planet, and it's going to take a very long time. So it'd be good to go ahead and knock that out. Another thing I would love to have would include the excavator. Could we place an excavator somewhere and start getting a load of concrete? I think probably the answer be yes. This will take a lot of machine parts, yeah, plus a lot of metals, but the good news is I am producing a lot of metals, and it will solve my concrete problems for basically the rest of the game. Oh, they changed something in the game. Oh my, light tripods cost polymers now. Well, that did not used to be a thing. They used to be free. I always thought it was a little weird that they were free, but they used to be actually free. Huh. Okay. Well, darn. I'm going to need a lot of resources in order to make use of this, plus some gigantic collapsed tunnels now. Wow. All right. More anomalies. Science or risk of creating a cave-in? Let's take a risk of getting a cave-in, and we got a damaged rover. Okay, the RC Explorer apparently got damaged, but we should be able to fix that. We have drones on hand already, no big deal. Huh. Did we gain anything out of that arrangement at all? Did we? I actually have no idea. I don't know if there was any point in doing physical samples. Right. Well, keep clearing out all this nonsense. We're clearing out these cave-ins. We got anomalies. Just find out what else we can get. Yeah, not being able to get these places lit up is actually going to be very annoying. Oh, gosh dang it. A meteor just struck my elevator. We've had this thing for how long? And already, yeah, we're getting... yeah, this is where the meteors are located. That's annoying. Hey! Epilogue, wildfire eradicated. Authorities all over the Earth report that no cases of the wildfire infection have been detected. Earth is freed from the yoke of the worst pandemic in history. People all across the world celebrate, but the consequences of the wildfire crisis remain. We have decades, maybe even centuries before us to cope with the damages caused, with the fear and desperation which reverberate inside all of us. But we remain optimistic that given time, people will return to their everyday lives. Oh man, this just feels slightly like a kick in the teeth based on today's actual situation. Anyway, the wildfire crisis has shown how fragile we are. With the ivory towers we built could crumble in mere days. Maybe it's the perfect moment to step back and reconsider the way we lived our lives, to rebuild our civilization, but build it better than before. Yeah, I doubt it. The wildfire cure remains our hot lead towards the way the disease worked. By studying it, we will be able to delve into the mystery of the structure and origin, preparing for worse days ahead. Alright, so all infection levels have been removed. Cargo rockets will be sent from Earth to load up on the cure, so apparently we can just keep making the cure for the sake of money. I'll be honest, That doesn't seem very important. Also, we gain a new technology, microfusion. I'm pretty sure that is a wonder tech, isn't it? Yes, we can now build an artificial sun for colossal amounts of power. Ooh, we found some exotic minerals. Really? I didn't even know you could find those underground nowadays. Well, that's actually kind of helpful. We'll be able to make use of those to build up some struts at some point if we want. Not sure it's a high priority, but we could. And 5,000 more science. Dude, we're finding some actually pretty decent stuff. I like it. What's this other thing we got? Wildfire safe space. Today marks the moment when our colony is free from the threat. Oh good, we've officially cured everybody. A day for celebration indeed. So if we've got a cure, and everyone's eating their curtados, then that means that no new cases should ever sprout up, am I right? Probably? Hooray! So I guess I could continue farming up some curtados if I so desire. I don't think that I do desire, though. I think that that's kind of unimportant. I'd rather just go ahead and make sure we have huge stockpiles of food so that we never have a repeat incident. Yeah, that'll be fine. Why am I not getting more machine parts, by the way? We're producing 23 per soul, and it feels like we're still not building anywhere near enough. Ah, here comes our gigantic excavator. All right, so this is our long-term solution for any concrete problems going forward. Ba-boom. And just like with the Mohole mine, we could greatly improve this and get even more production per soul, but it is going to take a monumental number of machine parts. So it's gonna be at least a while, but 50 production per soul is a heck of a lot better than anything I've been seeing up to this point. So from here on out, assuming we keep track of our population and housing and don't mess any of this up, our base ought to be pretty much on autopilot. I can really spend a lot of my time just hanging out in the underground and exploring, and that should be fine and completely safe. By the way, one thing I'm noticing here, which I think I really appreciate, it looks to me like the devs removed just the tiny little piles of like regular rocks like these things that were blocking all the tunnels up, so you had to just keep doing lots of tiny little terraforming clear projects, which was really irritating. Doable, just irritating. Now you instead have those gigantic walls, and this is way better, in my opinion. It's less micro-intensive in order to continue exploring. And in the meantime, we are finding a handful of anomalies. For example, we just discovered our underground wonder, the Ancient Artifact. The Explorer's vehicle system's blacked out. All attempts to reboot it have failed, and it seems like something is interfering with the control system. Drones are reacting strangely, reassigning themselves to tasks that were not scheduled. Our scientists are convinced this ancient artifact is the underlying cause of this chaos. We detected radio waves coming from the device, that for the time being are limited to the area of the ancient artifact. Our engineers think they could build an artifact interface to contain and even control its effect. However, some think we should do some experiments first. Okay, I have not seen this one yet. Research to build the ancient artifact interface that allows us to make use of its power. Fascinating. Whoa. That is a unique looking anomaly. We can scan it to experiment. Okay, that's probably how we're going to reduce the cost of this breakthrough tech, though it only costs 5,600. 200 exotic minerals to control this sucker. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be more of a long-term goal, but I've never seen this. I don't know what it does. I'm kind of curious and excited now. Sweet, another mystery event. You thought it was over? You were wrong. Whoa. Jeezums, that's one heck of a Marsquake. Holy cram. Well, I suppose now that we are able to get plenty of concrete, the next thing to do is probably to start making a carbonate processor. Yeah, why not? This should be fine. We'll go ahead and make use of this sucker to start actually creating some atmosphere on the planet. Atmosphere takes a very, very, very long time. But if we can get a lot of atmosphere and temperature, we will eliminate the natural disasters, which means that at that point, our extreme difficulty is going to be kind of negligible. It just plays like a very easy game from there on out. Mega satellites and terraforming amplification. Ah, yes, we like having this tech. It's going to take a lot of extra power, but it means that all of our terraforming effects just go that much faster. We have a lot of other stuff I'm working on first, including this glorious refab tech. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. Power it. Power it with drones or wait until it is ready. Drones. Okay, hang on. Drones lose power. There is no consensus. We can experiment with powering it directly using drones. I'll try it. how dost that ith work? Power it with drones. Well, so what do I do? First experiment here. We get free 10% control. We got a brief spike in signal strength. Okay. So what could a lot of power do in order to make this thing more powerful? And we lost 5 drones. That's interesting. That'll be pretty much all the drones over here, right? Yeah. Yeah, we lost a lot of drones, it looks like. We have discovered another important breakthrough, not the import gases. That's just an asteroid. Ah, there we go. Ice asteroids. That is a way of us starting to get a little bit of water on the world. Not that it's a lot of water, mind you, but I mean, a few machine parts and some fuel and stuff seems like not a big deal, especially since every little bit of water can count. Do this enough, and we're actually going to start getting rid of the dust storm events, which would be quite nice since they're already on their way and they're exceptionally destructive. Okay, we have an upgrade for the recon center. That's going to get me even more recon generated per soul, though the power consumption will end up going up as well. I think that's ultimately well worth it. It does take up a few scientists to work, but basically every soul or two we're going to start discovering something in space. It could be asteroids, it could be a whole load of other stuff. Who really knows? I'm going to go ahead and refab at least a few of these things, including some drone hubs plus some of these Stirling engines. So we'll be able to take those up on the Colombo when the time comes. I probably should do the same sort of thing with a battery just in case. And it would be nice to be able to pre-construct some of the mining operations that are used in space, but I don't think we're going to get lucky with that. We can, however, do something with stuff like, let's say, a fuel refinery. Do the same thing here. We can get this sucker prefabbed up and then send that into space so I don't even have to take as much fuel in order to launch back toward Mars. Okay, we have our first potential asteroid here, an M-type, made mostly from metals and rare metals, also known to sometimes have polymers and water. Sometimes water means we need to know for sure if that's there, so I know if I can create my own fuel. So we're going to go ahead and use some electronics to do a detailed scan, which people will then deliver over here to the storage, which will take just a little while. Somehow I feel like my drones just aren't nearly as effective as I want them to be. So, did that not complete the detailed scan that was promised? It should have by now. Hang on. So let's see. We know that there is 1 deposit of water, 4 deposits of metals, plenty of polymers, and some rare metals, plus those exotic minerals that we know we're looking for. I think we want to go ahead and visit this one. I think that'll be fine. Now, let's remind ourselves, how much fuel does this take? 45. Though we can fit 80,000 kilograms on this rocket. Okay, just to be safe, I think I am going to bring along the 45 fuel needed for a return voyage. Something that can sometimes happen, and it really sucks when it does, is sometimes on your first visit to an asteroid, your rocket fails in some way, and it can't actually get home, which is kind of a big problem, big sad. Let's see, we would definitely want to bring along at least a couple of drones, some extra machine parts, maybe polymers? Maybe at least a few. We'll probably need some metals and some concrete, though I don't really remember for sure what's actually required here. Let me do a little bit of research real quick before we launch after this. I want to make sure we are bringing enough materials that I can bring along my first round of mining equipment, an auto extractor, polymers, and machine parts. That should be all we need, plus a handful of metals in order to build up, let's say, some solar panels and keep power up and running. Though we also did want to bring along some prefab buildings. Maybe this is acceptable. We'll bring along our battery, plus we'll bring along the Micro G auto extractor we got for free with our first purchase of the rocket. Only 4 drones, enough polymers and machine parts to feel confident that we will be fine, fuel to get back home, some metals to set up some power, and then that'll be good. All right, and maybe we don't need some other resources like concrete, but it's been a little while since I last did this. I'd like to be safe. Let's go ahead and request those, and we will launch. And because we've gotten certain techs, we have 14 souls with which we will be able to extract some materials. So we've got plenty of time. Milestone achieved. Ooh, okay, we captured some of those ice asteroids. Excelente. So that's 5% water. Also, we technically completed a milestone to complete a special project. Okay, so that's all taken care of. Fantastic. And there's a good chance we're going to have a Marsquake, but I'm sure we'll be fine. We've also arrived at the asteroid. All right, so where do we want to place the Columbo? Well, sure as heck looks like most of the deposits we care about are all in this general vicinity. If we were to set up right here, for example, that wouldn't be bad. We'd be able to extract some of the rare metals and stuff. Also, if we wanted water, where are all the exotic minerals? It looks like a bunch are down over here in this area. Yeah, I think kind of like midway down the rocket should be fine. Let's go ahead and land ourselves right along here. And of course, make sure we don't lose track of this, because nothing is more embarrassing than losing your rocket. We've landed. Okay, now we are going to try to get as many resources as we can. Let's go ahead and set up a couple things. First off, we need to get some basic storage. And universal storages, by the way, now can have exotic minerals, so you no longer need to set up a special depot for that. I'm glad they made that addition. What do we think we want? Metals or rare metals? I mean, back on Earth, we have rare metals for days. I mean, zero problems on that front. So I'm thinking with our first extractor, we go ahead and just gather up some basic metals. 75 over there, 90 off in this direction. We can gather quite a few more of polymers and stuff off the surface. That's all fine. What does this take as far as power? 6. So only a couple of solar panels should be necessary to keep this thing powered, but if we also place down our accumulator, which we brought along with the prefab, we should be able to set this thing up really quickly. So first things first, we go ahead and build up our solar panels so we can get this thing a-running, and then if we want to amplify it, using some of the free polymers we've got around, we certainly could. Other stuff we can do is build extra mining extractors and say, hey, let's just go ahead and start also gathering up some of these rare metals. It should be worth noting that we have actually unlocked every single tech in the game at this point. Still got a fair bit more that we need to research, but everything is now available to me. And technically speaking, I think that the only thing that we need to build in order to finish off the last of our sponsor goals is to build out the Megadome, which it would be pretty nice to build, I'm not gonna lie. It does cost a load of concrete, plenty more metals and stuff. Surprisingly though, less polymers than a diamond dome. So, you know, something that'd be kind of nice to do. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it, but maybe we could. Instead of building a diamond dome over here like I was thinking we might, what if instead we built a giant mega dome over here, right? And then had like a little spin-off diamond dome or something. And for that, we have our 2 spires, including things like the sanatorium and stuff. But the mega dome takes advantage of both the research sites and everything else. That could be kind of cool. Everything is so chill right now, it's ridiculous. Like, literally, I'm just sitting here eating my lunch, watching this play for a while. Like, I mean, it'll be even better once the dust devils and dust storms and stuff are gone, but, like, we're done. In so many ways, we're all kind of on autopilot. I don't really have to worry about much from here on out. I don't even have to be exploring the underground. It just feels like it's the right thing to do. Feels like we'd be obliged to try to do something down here, but, like, do we need to? No, not at all. This is totally unrelated to the video, but for those of you who might be wondering what I'm eating, I found a recipe for some really nice baked potato wedges. Get a bit of sauce with it. In my case, I'm mixing up a little bit of ketchup with some A1 steak sauce, which is actually really nice. Or, did you know that they actually sell Chick-fil-A sauce in bottles at a store? It's true. It's freaking delicious. Oh, good lord, what did I miss? I was looking away in the underground, and it looks like a meteor must have hit me because it blew up my gosh dang excavator. Oh, that. Oh. That hurts. That hurteth big time. Yikes, that's gonna cost me a lot of resources to get back on there. Ah, God! All right, note to self, protect wonders from asteroids at all costs. It's worth the investment, dang it, it is worth it. Oh, I feel like such a fool. Oh, and fun fact, we've exhausted all of our metals in this area. So this dome no longer serves a purpose unless we're willing to relocate some folks, which I'm not. So the alternative is to start turning this into a Curtato outpost. Because, I mean, really, what else am I going to do with this real estate? I can move everyone back home, but why? Why bother? Let's just go ahead and set this sucker up with some automation, get some cover crops going. We'll do that a couple of times, and then, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and start making ourselves some Curtatos, and it's going to be amazing, and it'll start producing a little bit of money somehow in an otherwise completely useless dome. Well, how do we feel about building ourselves a mega dome? I mean, it'd be kind of fun. It's a big honking guy. It'd have to be located like right here in order to take full advantage of all of the research, as well as at least some of the rare metals. uneven terrain. I'm not sure I really believe that, but okay, we can send some drones up here and fix that easily enough. I think we go for it. I think we just go for it so that we can say we've officially met all of our sponsor goals. Technically, that's all it would take for me to start ending the series, but I do like the idea of at least terraforming the planet a bit. Maybe not all the vegetation, but at least a bit before we end the series, you know what I mean? All right, I did have to start turning on some extra shifts over here with our machine parts factory. And why is no one delivering metals to these guys? Come on, we got so many metals sitting around and you guys are doing nothing with it. Wait, where are all of my metals? Hang on, we got some over here. Yeah, some coming in over there. There's some over here. I feel like a lot of our stockpiles, oh, here we go. I feel like a lot of our stockpiles are not like really being taken very seriously over here. Like most of my metals are not where I want them to be, despite the fact that we have the glorious Mohole mine. What the heck, dude? By the way, before we forget, we only have a couple of souls remaining on this asteroid. At this point, we've extracted most of the resources, so I think it might be time to go ahead and start packing things up and leave, just because it does sometimes take a while to set things up, and I'd rather not find out that we accidentally lost our first asteroid lander like a scrub. So we'll go ahead and start prefabbing everything back up, including an extra extractor that I'll be able to take on with me. And then let's go ahead and edit up the payload. So let's see, solar panels, power accumulators, micro-G extractors, yes, this is all correct. That takes up most of my space. I believe it or not, care probably less. I need to switch to manual again, don't I? The auto just doesn't quite work the way that I want it to. We're completely out of space, dang it. All right, forget some of these rare metals, because I've got like 1,000 back on Earth, and I am not even kidding. I've got a lot. So forget that. Let's make sure we grab all of my prefabs at the very least, because this is stuff that I'm going to be taking with me pretty much every time I go back into space. I need exotic minerals for absolute sure. I kind of want my machine parts back. We can ditch more of these rare metals. It turns out that was a waste of my time. We don't have any more machine parts, never mind. And then I guess we'll take the polymers and the regular metals. As many as I can fit, and it looks like that's about it. All right, so is that going to be the payload from our first asteroid? Sure as heck seems that way. Let's go ahead and request it all, and then we can go for a launch right on back to Mars. Ba-boom, and goodbye, asteroid. We knew you for only a short time, but already I love you for my first. All right, that's done. Are we done building the excavator again? No, we are not. All right, we're going for some real big honkin' projects right now. We've rebuilt the excavator, which is great. We're working on another carbonate processor so I can double up on my atmosphere generation, because so far it is painfully slow. And we have begun the construction of our Megadome. It's gonna take a lot of metals to pull this one off. That's the only thing that I'm scared about. Lots and lots of metals. Though I will note, the supposed extremely high concrete cost of 300 is down to only 60 because of some of the techs that I've got reducing those costs. Like Neo Concrete, that breakthrough. Works out pretty nicely for me, and here come the last of the materials. Boom! The construction of the Megadome has begun! Very soon it will be done! An Earth Trojan who sent me a virus. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's an asteroid of some sort. Never mind. Give me money! That'll be great. And also, we'll go ahead and do an outsource. I know you guys want to see the construction of the dome. Here we go. Sorry. Got a little sidetracked, but there it is. And boom! We have our first Giganto Megadome, which means I have now accomplished all of my sponsorship goals, which gets me a pretty huge amount of science. Plus, we complete that milestone before anybody else of fulfilling all of this. So far, the only thing we've lost out on is the first human on Mars. The only remaining milestone challenges are to be getting huge populations, which is one of the great things about the Megadome, because that's not too hard to accomplish now that we have this much freaking housing space. Holy crud. And let's not forget, we should also be getting ourselves a network node, because we have 2 research sites here. This will make for a phenomenal research dome, not to mention we will have a lot of housing to work with. And if I place down a double diamond dome over here, we'll have more access to all of the underground rare metals, plus 2 spires, which means we'll be able to start doing other fun things over here soon too. So we're not quite done with this series. There's more that I plan on doing, but yeah, we've made a lot of progress in this particular episode. We're gonna go ahead and amplify all of this. My power needs are about to absolutely skyrocket skyrocket. But you know what? If there's anything I'm good at, it's producing power. Power is one thing that I'm really solid at, and we are going to be able to start finally terraforming the crud out of this planet. It's gonna be amazing. Stay tuned for the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting close. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.